Looky here. Let's see. Let me get this off the screen. Playing around with y'all. We back in the building, man. Your boy G Bush. And look what we got back in the mix. My man Darren Smith, KOKC, host of the ship. KOKC in Kansas City, covers the Kansas City Chiefs. And listen, we just made you an honorary Browns fan. Like you called me up yesterday, say G Bush. I was so happy. You know, the Browns is my second team. I gotta pull up on you. We gotta talk a little bit. Darren, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm a little salty though, man. I love that intro, man. I feel low key kind of embarrassed, man. I wish my show intro looked like yours, man.
Hey, listen, it's just it ages like a fine wine. So it took me a little time to get that, but you know what I'm saying. Listen, come on, brother, you stop playing. This guy does this all the time. He want to talk about these intros, bro. This dude, every time I've been wanting to get a clothing sponsor forever. He just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going, he hit me on a FaceTime. Yeah, I'm just in here just getting tailored for another suit. I'm like, this dude, bro, you know what?
Hey, real talk, I can't in front. I had to go pick up my new suit today for our Monday night game next week. So, yeah, I see that today.
Patrick, you just hang out with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, with the house. I mean, listen. Okay, we got to get you. Is the Taylor Swift security that real? Have you had to go through extra metal detectors out there for Taylor?
No, because they know who I am and they know I don't play that.
Yeah, no extra pat downs for you, right?
I don't like the TSA pat downs as it is, so I'm definitely not gonna let some security guy just, frolic me without buying in the booth. No, we good on.
Yeah, no first game for Darren out there. Darren, let's get to it, man. This was a game I think a lot of people needed, man, and especially Deshaun Watson. And then I came on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I was talking about this a little bit earlier. It's just like, after all the stuff he had been through. And let's not make it seem like he fought in a war or something, but he went through some personal adversity. It's a lot of people in the national media, from Brady Quinn to a lot of detractors, and it was a lot of local media and a lot of local guys and fans that was like, look, man, this ain't what we thought we was going to get. You got the injury, he comes back, he plays a little bit better. And then you start off the game the way you did against the Baltimore Ravens, and a lot of people thought they was going to be up out of here. They was dead, and people was going crazy. In terms of what you saw in the second half and how he led his team to do what they do, what is it that you saw with Deshaun Watson that liked so much?
Well, the biggest thing is I want to first start back saying that mental health is real. I mean, you have to realize that he probably felt that he was back on track after the Tennessee game when he kind of balled, when he balled out to win. But because of the injury that he ended up suffering, that ended up, because the following week he played opening drive against the Colts and was like 1 for 5 and was, the very first pass he threw, hit the dirt. And I'm looking like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I remember you texted me. You said literally like, come on, man. This ain't it.
And so knowing that he couldn't play the rest of the game and then sitting out the next couple of games, you hear, as you said, you start hearing the detractors, the doubters, and, people questioning, because look, I'm human. Part of me was thinking like, come on, bro. I'm like, I need you to get there on that field just so you can shut people up, because of all the talk. And so the fact that he was able to, and you got to remember, having that pick six on his first throw of the ball game, I'm sitting thinking like, damn, I'm like, I got the Browns win. I said, but man, I can't, I said, but don't make it harder for me. My bets or whatever. And so, but to be able to overcome that, keep the team into the ball game, and then of course you put yourself in position. Granted, I wish the kicker wouldn't have missed the extra point. So worst come to worst, you at least got overtime. But the fact that he was able to march that team down the field, put them in position, kick a game-winning field goal. I think in his mind mentally, now obviously he got beat up, but I think going further, I think that right there kind of unlocks something within Deshaun Watson that will help him with his confidence going further to where, he doesn't have to worry about whether or not he's back. He knows he's back because of what he was able to do against who he was able to do it against. And the fact that Lamar Jackson has yet to beat Deshaun Watson, whether in college or the pros, says a lot. Well, take that back because he did beat him in the first game that they played. So, I
guess they count that as DTR.
Okay, yeah, that was DTR. Yeah, so because of that, I think Cleveland finally has what they can feel is a franchise quarterback. That I think the other thing he knows is that because of how that defense played, and he was able to play all 4 quarters with the defense and the way he plays, he knows that he has the team that could possibly get him to the Super Bowl, at least AFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl.
I look at this situation and I think the thing that helped me out a little bit as well is the fact that he was able to do it under a little bit of duress. You can see on the screen and people talking about it, and we always say that. Look, a lot of cats was running around here talking about, hey man, this dude is he's cashing checks. He don't want to play. G. Bush, his arm ain't even hurt like that. There ain't even no micro tear. And then he comes out in this game, Darren, and he tweaks the ankle. And I'm like, man, this is about to be one of them games. I could just hear the people just going off, just doing extra. And I'm thinking like, man, I hope he's able to get back out of here and step his game up and come back out. He comes back out the second half. And not only comes back and plays, he's, I think he's 12 or 12, 13 or 13 or something like that. Leads a touchdown drive, had over 40, almost 50 yards on the ground as well. Like he did what he needed to do in crunch time. And people, now we can leave that noise alone. Anybody that's talking that noise, they can shut up, because at the end of the day, we've seen it. It's on full display. The guy was playing hurt. He had two things injured. And I threw out a theory earlier, and I don't know if you may where you come out on this, but sometimes as a player, when you got like a shoulder injury, when you injure something else, it becomes the most pressing thing on your mind, right? So you just kind of almost forced to go out there and play on instincts. And you kind of saw him out there just revert back to some of his Clemson days. Like, go back to when they were playing Alabama and those rivalries there. Deshaun Watson always seemed to be banged up, had that knee brace on, but always found a way to make some plays, Darren.
Yeah, look, man, a lot of times I keep thinking to myself, how can you not have a better offensive line protect this man when he's taking these hits that he shouldn't be taking? I will say this, man. Look, I've been fortunate over the last 5, I guess, going on 6 years now, covering Patrick Mahomes, in that it's I've seen where he got his knee dislocated in the Denver Broncos game, the year that they won the Super Bowl. He ended up having to sit out the rest of that game and the next game, but he wanted to come back in that game. Where, that he had his knee dislocated. And it's like, if this dude, during the playoffs, he seems to never have an injury-free playoff run. And so, like last year when he hurt his ankle, dude came back in the ball game and played. So it's like, for me, when I see Mahomes being able to play with all these type of injuries and come back in and gut it out, yeah, I know Deshaun is that dog. And for me, I'd be like, man, you got to tough it out, bro. I'm like, whatever, because it's like, if you didn't have that squad, if you didn't have that defensive squad, I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have the players on your, that you can rock with and win with, I get it. But you got the number 1 ranked defense, man. I mean, you got players on offense that's willing to ride with you, bro. You got to tough it. And so I'm glad he did, because it looked like he was even more hurt in that game than he let on. And so I know we saw footage of him, in the walking boot, but I think he was more injured, than the one was initially let on. But after a while, you get tired of hearing all the doubt and stuff. And so for him, this was the game for him to shut all doubters up, and at least for 1 week. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, listen, it came out, Deshaun Watson did have a X-ray MRI on that ankle. He did leave. Jason Lloyd talked about it a little bit, left out with the walking boot. And you mentioned Patrick Mahomes, and I watched the quarterback, the little documentary, and you had a nice cameo in there. I was just so when he twisted his ankle, turned his ankle, and Andy Reid was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you out." He's like, "No, No, yeah, like somebody said, we're gonna sell your firstborn child. No, you ain't taking me out of here. And so I was happy to see Deshaun come back in that game too.
Well, and look, man, and here's the thing, and just one last thing on Mahomes is that, granted, that happened in the division round, and we had the championship game coming up against Cincinnati. He literally stayed in the training room to get his ankle worked on 24/7 that whole week to make sure he was prepared to go against Cincinnati. I mean, that's how bad he wanted to play, and that's how bad that the Chiefs needed him to play. So, like I said, I mean, I know the situation is a little bit different because it isn't in the middle of the season for Deshaun Watson, but again, that's the type of toughness that that we kind of deal with here. And again, I know Deshaun is a dude. Now, if he can't throw the football, he can't throw the football, and because he can't throw the football, that's that has an adverse effect on his game and the passing game and in the game, for the Cleveland Browns to try to win. So again, overall, I'm glad that, like I said, at least for 1 week, he was able to shut the haters up because trust and believe, when I posted post game about about the Browns winning and my upcoming prediction is still on track for Browns Chief AFC Championship game. Trust me, I get a lot of haters. You doing this for this rapist, this and that. Look, man ain't been convicted of nothing. You can hate the man if you want to, but I deal in facts, and so.
And you've never been one to back down from what you say. You 10 toes down on what you talk about, so you ain't gonna change his mind. Listen, we're not gonna. I don't know. I don't understand what people be looking at. I'm like, listen, man. At the end of the day, we talk about the game, and we're gonna continue to talk about it. But you did steal my highlight. You stole my headline here coming up. We will talk about those Chiefs and Browns here coming up in a moment. I want to get to this though really quickly too though. I thought this was really, really dope. Myles Garrett, he's been a monster all year. I mean, he's just been and I don't know if you got to vote. I don't know. See, Darren, they give people like him votes. I just talk. I don't got to vote for player of the year, but yeah, Myles Garrett to me has been dominant. I mean, he came out and he said these guys are tough, but down the stretch things started to slow down and guys kind of settled into things, and we played the way we practiced. Coach Cleveland defensive end Myles Garrett said we made the plays when we needed to make the plays, and I was on Twitter. And I was tweeting. I was begging for the up top. I said, "Listen, we need 2 sacks here." He got them for me back to back. Darren, when you talk about Myles Garrett, man, there's been a lot made about the Defensive Player of the Year award and whether or not him and T.J. Watt is on the same level and blah blah blah. Myles Garrett, to me, has been single-handedly one of the most dominant guys from blocking field goals to chasing guys down. I think he has really ascended to that place where now not only people here know it, but people all around the country know, like, this dude is a bad man.
Yeah, look, man, here in Kansas City, we got our own number 95 in Chris Jones, and so he's an all-pro, defensive tackle within itself, along with someone like Myles Garrett. Now I know our girl Kimberly Martin has been promoting Myles Garrett as a DPOY on ESPN and stuff throughout the season. Look, man, I mean maybe it's too early for me to be taking my victory lap because I don't know if that's coming up later on in the show, but I did mention before the season that your guy Jim Schwartz, man, he was going to be a life changer, man, with this defense, man. It's like, and it's interesting because every time I'm watching a Browns game, and I do watch every game as long as it doesn't conflict with a Chiefs game, obviously. But but every time I watch the games, they'll cut a camera over to Jim Schwartz, and you'll see him, in his hoodie. Of course, I keep thinking it says Kool-Aid Mafia, but it says Browns.
Speaking of, we got to get you one, Darren. We got to get you a Kool-Aid Mafia.
First of all, I've been waiting. I wasn't gonna say nothing
let's see, my mans. We gotta get you one. Say no more. We gonna get him. And listen, here's how we gonna do it. We're gonna get you the red one. We're gonna get you the red one. They won't even know the difference. You could wear that at Kansas City Chiefs games too. They won't even know what that means.
But no, but going back to Jim Schwartz, I mean, and Myles, I just think that the moves that they made in the offseason, man, bringing Zadarius Smith in and bringing Juan, I mean, you brought Jim Schwartz in, and he kind of told you the players that he was looking for to fit his scheme, and I think true to format, everything has worked according to saying to Jim Schwartz's plan, and what you all talked about before the season started about this has to be the type of season for Myles Garrett to where for the Browns to be successful, be a playoff team, even a Super Bowl caliber team, he has to be the one that makes the difference throughout the games. I mean, like you said, we've seen the sacks, the blocked field goals, the strip fumbles in the end zone against the Colts. I mean, he's making big plays and timely plays when it matters most. So I mean, I can say a player like him, every blue moon, Michael Parsons, Chris Jones, TJ Watt, you have certain special players, and Myles Garrett is just that guy.
Hey, listen, man. Let's get to a couple super chats here. James Cosby says, "Thank you so much for the super chat." By the way, James, victory celebration all day, sipping on the Kool-Aid, but getting focused on Pittsburgh game. Hey, man, keep it locked. We're gonna be ready to go. This week is a huge week in the AFC North. We'll kind of preview that coming up in the next segment. But a huge week for all teams in the AFC North. But like you said, we'll get you ready going into Pittsburgh Thursday. Make sure you're right back here on the Browns preview, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And make sure you keep it locked to UCSS from 11 to 1 all week as we pivot towards another equally important game when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get to this. Cleveland J440, thank you so much for the super chat. McCaffrey beat whose record? OJ's. You probably ain't know that because the Shield muted OJ. Same as fourth by default. US, they ain't gonna gush over us. Get your black hats ready. I don't know what that meant. That had a lot of had a lot of Black Panther and conspiracy in that. I don't know. And shout out to you, J440. We appreciate the super chat. Oh man, let's get to it. We're gonna come back. Let's get to our first break here. We get to the first break. We're with Darren Smith on the UCSS YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe. We went over a record today. We had crazy people, about 5,000 celebrating the Browns' victory. We're here breaking it down as well for you guys again. It is G. Bush, Darren Smith on the UCSS YouTube channel. So let me tell you this. I'm going to let y'all know something. Listen, I'm the only dude giving out gear like this. I give out stuff all the time. And I told you, if you're listening, you're in the right place. Tomorrow is my birthday. So you got until tomorrow to go ahead and do this so you could be entered into our brand new giveaway. Subscribe to our mailing list at bushlinebeauty.com. And you will be automatically entered into a drawing for a free Kool-Aid Mafia Riley flag. Promotion is good through my birthday, which is November 14th. And you'll be able to get in. I'm giving 10 away of these, 10. Celebrating a big-time victory over here, at Bushline Beauty. And if you just say, G. Bush, I ain't got no time for that. I just want the rag. Go get me the rag. You can definitely go get the rag yourself. You can go to bushlinebeauty.com/barbershop, and I'll give you 15% off right now. All you got to use is the code VICTORY15, VICTORY15, and you get 15% off. How cool is that? You can do that all in this courtesy. A G. Bush and a barbershop. You got a day. All you got to do, subscribe to the mailing list, and we may be giving something out a little bit later on in the whole situation. So stay locked. So we'll get you together. All right, let's get back off into it. G. Bush back at it. Thanks for subscribing to the UCSS YouTube channel. We got Darren Smith for KOKC in Kansas City. He's the host of the ship. And Darren, you said you hit it a little bit here. You hit it a little bit earlier in terms of the AFC and what we're going to do. I got a little, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Browns coming up here in a little bit. First of all, as you know, we just alluded to a huge week in the AFC North. Thursday night, Ravens versus the Bengals. Then you got Sunday afternoon, you got the Browns versus Steelers. And the Browns have the Steelers at home. What do you make of so far of the AFC North? Right now, it's looking like one of the strongest divisions in football. If you had to pick I mean, who's the weakest link in this division? It's hard for me to sit here and say the Bengals are the weakest link, even though they did lose to C.J. Stroud, who is Superman all of a sudden. C.J. Stroud is just the great. That man's just doing what he wants. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who continue to find ways to win football games. Who would you say? I mean, is this the best division in football? And is this like, who's the worst? I don't see a worst.
It is the best division because at the moment all four teams, well, I take it back. Cincinnati would be on the outskirts, but before yesterday's game, all four teams would have made the playoffs had it started yesterday. I would actually say that Cincinnati is the weakest. Look, man, Mike Tomlin just finds a way to get the most out of his players, and find ways to win games. Now, granted, I told you before, Deshaun Watson, gifted them that game in week number 2, I think it was against.
Yep.
And that's something that's, that was your Jets game from last year that happened during the same time. But if I had to pick a team, it would be the Bengals. One, because they started off slow, with the losing streak because of Burrow's injury, and yeah, they won 4 in a row, but you are supposed to beat the team that you're supposed to beat, and granted they were favorites, and I think Houston is on the come up because of C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson in that defense. That yesterday's loss was a setback for them because now, again, selfishly, yes, I would want the Bengals to beat the Ravens in that game as well. But I also feel as someone covers the Chiefs that I wouldn't have any love lost if the Ravens knock off the Bengals because I'll just get on social media and do some more trash talking to the Bengals. So,
get them boys up out of here.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm fine with that. They're in last place in the division, which that's where they deserve to be. And so I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm just glad on a Thursday night game that we finally got a good game, because the last couple of weeks have been an abomination. And so hopefully both teams come to play, can win some money off that game on Thursday night. And then obviously, against the Steelers, it is important that you all split. You all have that game at home, which is a good thing. And so, if Deshaun Watson is healthy enough to play, the defense, I already know the defense is going to be on point. So it's just a matter of making sure Deshaun Watson and the offense is on point, limit the turnovers and the penalties, and everything else will work out for itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, listen, see, this is tricky because obviously, say for selfish reasons, you got the Baltimore Ravens, and I think, to be truthful, I wouldn't want to play the Ravens. I'd rather play the Bengals. Like, you take a look at what's going on. Ravens just lost to us. That means they're 7-3. If they can lose that game again at 7-4, gives the Browns an opportunity to move into first place in the AFC North. Now, with the Kansas City Chiefs, you guys only lost 2 games, right?
Yeah, they're 7. Yeah, they're 7-2.
And so even and one of the losses really don't hurt you that much because it's the Lions and it's an NFC team. And have you lost a game in the division yet?
Yeah, it was actually on the road. It was in Denver, so we lost to Denver where they ended a 16-game losing streak to us, to the Chiefs.
That seems like years ago, don't it?
It felt that way. I mean, what happened was, the players were looking ahead to go to Germany. So they were looking past Denver to get to Germany to play the Miami Dolphins. So, but
see, I look at this and we'll kind of foreshadow this. Not only, are the Cleveland Browns, I mean, they would have to have a lot of things have to happen. I mean, you got to talk about, I'll give the Chiefs credit. The fact that they look for home field advantage throughout the rest of the play. That's what they want. They want you to have to come to Arrowhead. For us, it's like baby steps. We just want to get to a point. We just want to be relevant in the AFC North, get a wild card. But now you take a look forward. If you're able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're looking at controlling your own destiny throughout the rest of the way, saying, look, guys, we had everything we want in front of us. They can win this division and get a home field playoff game, which has not been seen in this city in decades. So that's a huge part of it. That's a little ahead of ourselves, but like I said before, This game against the Pittsburgh Steelers is important for one thing.
Well,
everything you did against Baltimore, to solidify that, you got to beat Pittsburgh. You can't drop 2 to them.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And what I was going to say is that I do have Cincinnati beating Baltimore just because I think they have the skill set, at least at the wideouts and with Mixon, to put points on the board. And I think their loss to the Texans on yesterday, that's kind of going to, that's going to do something for their psyche to where, Tyler Boyd is going to have a big game against the Ravens. So I do see them beating Baltimore. And if they do, granted, that's going to put more pressure on you all because now you all know what's going to be ahead of you.
Yep.
If it knocks off Baltimore, that leaves you with two to 3 days like, damn, if we win, we could be in first place and the sky's the limit. Now, look, I'm not concerned about, playoff seeding, whatever we can see, because I think at the end of the day, Kansas City is gonna have the number 1 seed. But I do think it will be big for Cleveland if they can win that division, have a home game, and then you just let the chips fall where they may. Because I think if you have a home game, you'll turn around and play a division opponent, whether it's Pittsburgh or Baltimore. I think even if they win, I think the schedule is going to be tough for Cincinnati to still make, because they still have to play you all again. They'll have to play the Chiefs, and I think there's some other teams that they'll have to play as well. That might, I think they play. Well, no, they did play San Francisco. So, depending on what the rest of the schedule looks like, it's just hard for me to see, especially if they don't win Thursday. If they don't win on Thursday, I don't see them making the playoffs. If they do win on Thursday, they'll have an outside shot, but they'll still be in last place. So.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be. Look, I think that game is going to be entertaining. It's all about. It's funny. I feel like the Bengals match up well against the Ravens, but then I feel like the Browns match up well against against the Bengals, and for whatever reason, the Browns can't seem to beat the Steelers. Like even when the teams they ain't even that good. Like the Steelers just seem to just do something. So. All those things being equal, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting week coming up. Tim Hart says, any report yet? And are we going to be gimping into the Pittsburgh game? Well, I think, that's par for the course. I think got a net. Go ahead.
I was saying nobody's 100%, middle of the season. It's just
it's this week 10. Look, people anything past training camp when you get by week 4, ain't nobody good. So if you want the regular report, you got Jed Wills is on IR. You got the other Conklin is on IR. Deshaun Watson took the MRI. We don't know what's up with that, but that's just routine when you have any sort of injury. They want to make sure everything is ruled out. You got who was it? Denzel Ward. We thought he went in for concussion protocol. He passed concussion protocol. Ended up being a neck injury. So we don't know what's going on with that yet. There'll probably be a lot of guys on the report. I wouldn't be surprised if you get if Kevin Stefanski gives the guys a day off. Guys like obviously this is Darius Smith. I would expect maybe even Joe Batonio. He has knee surgery during the bye week a couple weeks ago. He's out there playing, and Myles Garrett was banged up a little bit. So I suggest those get some rest.
Up and kickoff. That's all you got to do.
Was that?
I said, give Myles Garrett the rest of the week off. Tell him to show up and kick off.
That's it. We don't even need the rest of that. Like we good on that. Don't even worry about that, man. We good on that. Ray Smith, you got your hoodie today. I appreciate you. Salute. I appreciate you, my man. Let's see. Look, the Baker Bros is still out here, right? Yeah, you play. They throw the JK on it now, but like at halftime, they was about that life. They was about that life, Darren. I'm telling you that. Oh man, let's get to our next break. When we get back, we're gonna talk about this scenario. Darren says it, man. Look, he threw it out there. Don't say I'm jinxing nothing. Could we have a preview of the Browns versus Chiefs?
Hey,
right?
My victory lap, man. I'm ready to run my victory lap.
He's gonna get his victory lap also, or get his victory lap money off as well. We'll do that coming back. It's G. Bush and Darren Smith on the UCSS YouTube page. Let me tell you about my people. My man Jason at Phenomenal and Phenomenal Barbershop out in Lakewood. People always say, G Bush, where you get your hair cut? I got to put you into my man Jason, man. Call him today, 216-385-8861. He'll take your appointment. Really nice environment, family environment. They don't do all the cursing. They don't do a bunch of barbershop talk. They just give you a good solid haircut and keep it pushing, man. So we'll, Jason will get you together. Address is 11827 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio, 44107. Go down there. Make sure you say, G Bush told me to come out here, give you that good solid haircut, get you together, make sure he gets you together. Jason, big time Browns fan. He'll probably talk your ear off about the Browns the whole time, but that's what you pay for, right? Go down there, get a good cut, good conversation, and good quality. Phenomenal Barbershop in Lakewood. All right, Darren, you talked about it. You said I need to get my victory lap on. You said, listen, my man Juan Thornhill up here killing. He's gonna bring that fire, that passion to the game. And Juan Thornhill has been a big time catalyst for why the Browns are moving the way they are. Let's get your victory lap off, dog.
Well, first things first, I'm not one to brag, but I'll do it this time only because you give me the platform to do so. I would have done this on UCSS, but I haven't got that invite back yet. So I don't know if we're at the midway. And,
is it a disconnect? See, everybody, I got the two people that people ask for the most. They say, yo, when is Darren Smith coming back? And when is Quincy Carrier coming back? I need y'all to keep putting the pressure on them fellas over there. I'm a good soldier. I look out. I'm like, listen, I'll be putting them. I said, listen, come on, man. I'll be sending the emails and the texts. I said, we need both of them brothers back on immediately, ASAP.
Man, look, let me tell you something. So, we always like to keep receipts. Well, I remember back in August when you had me on, I told you, and this was, of course, when the Browns were coming to Kansas City. I told you all that that one, Juan Thornhill was going to be that guy, and listening to the show, watching the show today, I heard Jason talk about just how much you can tell there's a big difference when Juan Thornhill's in the game. I know because we had that for 4 years here in Kansas City. So I know what kind of player, what kind of person he is and what he brings to a defense too. I also said that, Jim Schwartz was going to be that guy. Like he's going to be the difference maker, and he's going to be the reason why, Myles Garrett would be the, defensive player of the year, whatever, because, his scheme, the players that he brought in and that he's putting in his system, I mean, it's going to be a total night and day switch from what you all were dealing with last year. And then basically, like I said, if Deshaun Watson is anywhere near what he was in 2020 with the Houston Texans, that with that defense, with Deshaun Watson and the offense that, saying that they could possibly have. And granted, this was before we obviously Nick Chubb was going to, was injured for the season. That there's no reason why, Cleveland can't come to Kansas City for the Arrowhead Invitational Championship game.
Listen, it was, by the way, Darren, it was supposed to be the Cleveland Browns that was supposed to be the new upcoming age rival to the Kansas City Chiefs. We just let the Cincinnati Bengals come up here and steal all our thunder. We met through just when the Browns played the Chiefs the last year in the playoffs. Yeah. They end up losing that game. We listen, the Browns played the Chiefs the toughest we done seen. Listen, we about to be back next year. And then the whole situation fell apart with Baker Mayfield, OBJ, the whole thing fell apart. And then the Cincinnati Bengals just came in and scooped up, just pulled up right on us. It's like it's the underdog that took your girlfriend. You was playing around a little bit. The underdog came in, new dude from another school with his new cologne. Saying he dressed a little different, talk a little. Next thing you know, you're like, well, listen. Hey, whoa, Kansas City, you just flirting with the Bengals? That's y'all's new? And the Bengals, listen, I give them the Bengals, went to the Super Bowl, then you had the back and forth. So that was supposed to be us from get-go, though. That was already our move.
And like I said, and so now that I remember, I came on the show after Cleveland came to Kansas City, and I told you that my first impression was defensively, I loved everything that I saw because I know Myles Garrett sat out that game, Mahomes sat out that game. But I saw what that defense could be. And, Juan was in the game, and then I saw Fadarius Smith literally throw one of our tackles down. I'm looking like, damn it, man. I'm glad this ain't a regular season game, a playoff game. We'd have been in some trouble in that game. But I saw a glimpse of what that defense, what was going to be like, and that told me right there is like, you all have everything in place. You got the kicker in place, because I remember doing a video clip that I sent Mikey McNuggets after the game. I think in the locker room with the kicker or whatever, in the Browns locker room after the game. But you all have all the pieces in place, but all you have to do is just go out there and perform. I mean, and look, beat the teams. Granted, you got Pittsburgh this Sunday. This is another quote unquote must win game. You win that, you're 7-3, I think it is. Or
yep.
Okay, but then you got the Broncos coming up. You should be able to beat the Broncos. You beat the Broncos, you're 8-3. Saying so you're putting yourself and you're stacking up wins. That's what you need. Now, granted, look, everybody has to play their role and everybody has to do what they do, and not trying to look ahead. Kansas City has to get past Philadelphia next Monday night in the Super Bowl rematch. And so, if the Chiefs do that, obviously they still have Buffalo. They still have the Bengals as well on New Year's Eve, I believe. Take care of them. So, the Chiefs have to do their part. Browns have to do their part. I still think at the end of the day, just because of experience, coaching, players, I still think Kansas City gets the number 1 seed. But if the Browns can win their division, I like their chances in winning the wild card game, getting a chance to play a divisional game. Depending on where they fall in the seeding, they could have home field advantage through the second round. And then if you win those 2 games, Chiefs win the 1 game that they would have to win. Now you get a chance to come to Kansas City, and I get to set out some hospitality for you.
Let me ask you this question. What do you make of some of the middling teams? When I say middling, what do you make of the Houstons of the world, and then another team that we've been seeing, the Jacksonville Jaguars? They did it. They made some noise last year. I thought they overachieved a little bit. They really got, to a point where they kind of made the playoffs. The sexy pick to say, they were going to be a team that with Trevor Lawrence that was going to be, they played well in Arrowhead, and it just seems like when you play well in Arrowhead and you lose to the Chiefs, you kind of that next team up. So, yeah. Like, what do you make of those teams? And do you think Houston can make enough noise in that division? Houston, Tennessee, we just talked about Jacksonville.
Well, I'll be honest. Between Houston and Jacksonville, I will be more concerned about Houston than I would Jacksonville. One, the Chiefs have, that they beat Jacksonville this year. They beat them at home in the playoffs last year. So kind of got their number. That's one thing. But Houston, because it's such a young team, they don't know what they don't know. And that's what would concern me, because, again, they had no business beating Cincinnati yesterday.
Right.
And with the mistakes that they did, CJ Stroud with the interception and the turnover the fumbles that he had, still went out and found a way to win. Now, when you can do that as a rookie, because now, look, I don't know if you watched the game, because I think you all might have been doing your post.
I went back and watched it.
And man, the thing that caught my eye when Cincinnati went down and scored, I think it was a field goal or whatever they scored to tie the game up. All CJ Stroud did was look for his helmet, grabbed his helmet, and put it on, and was ready to go out there.
And was no emotions. It was not rattled. Nothing.
He knew what time it was. That right there let me know he about that business. He about that life. So he knew he was ready for the moment. He wasn't afraid of it. That's the type of team. That's the type of player that would concern me if I, to not overlook. And so out of those 2 teams, that would be the one I'd be worried about, would be the Houston Texans.
Yeah, you said something there. You too young and stupid to not know what you should know. It's like Nico Collins is playing over his head. You got guy. He
didn't even play in the
game. Was that?
I said Nico wasn't even playing in the game.
That's crazy. And they got Schultz. He's now all of a sudden the tight, one of the better looking tight ends in the game. And some of the throws that he's making is just like, that's not a rookie throw.
He threw for 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for one in, had the turnovers and things of that nature, and still found a way to win. Again, I mean, look, when you got a player like that, bro, the sky's the limit. I mean, they are really at a place that right now, I think they're in like the 7th seed at the moment. So that would be a team that the Chiefs would play in the divisional game if they made it that far. But man, he's impressive, and so again, out of all the teams right now, that would be the one team I wouldn't want to see right now. I mean, we still win. Don't get me. Chiefs will still win, but.
You still have you still have the it's so funny you when you playing it's like you playing spades. Y'all still got the big joker. We see when you got the big joker. You got Patrick Mahomes and the big joker is laying waiting to go upside your head. You feel comfortable.
We got the big joker, we got the little joker, we got the ace of spades. We got Travis. We got Mahomes, we got Travis, we got Andy.
And you can't listen. And y'all got Taylor Swift. Y'all got all the commercials right now. Travis Kelce on everything. Here's how I knew he was up top. Anytime they say, listen, you are the spokesperson for the vaccine, I said, oh God. Travis Kelce out. Listen, they run promos in Cleveland for like Travis Kelce play for us. I know he from Cleveland, but he ain't caught no touchdown for us, and we run promos like this man is on our squad. He's like, listen, you better shut up. That's Travis Kelce. Be quiet, man. With that being said, man, let's get to our second break. G. Bush, Darren Smith on the UCSS YouTube channel. And I done already told you. See, you know what? Y'all thought I was playing. I was just giving out rally flags. No. If you stood around and you stayed on here, you understand that we're not only giving out rally flags, we're giving out 10 of those. I'm giving out 5 Kool-Aid Mafia shirts as well. So we say, G. Bush, what you got to do? What I got to do for one of those? All you got to do is subscribe to the mailing list at bushlinebeauty.com. Very simple, easy. Go to bushlinebeauty.com. It'll ask you, do you want to sign up? Put your email address in there. You're automatically entered into a drawing to win one of these Kool-Aid Mafia t-shirts. I am giving away 5 of these to celebrate the Browns win, as well as my birthday coming up here in about a day, November 14th. Shout out to the Scorpios out there. Yeah, listen, and guess what? All the barbershop swag is available. You can get this hat. You can get this fire hoodie right here that says barbershop on it. And all the merchandise is 15% off using the code word victory15. Victory15 right now. And you get it at bushlinebeauty.com/barbershop. And it's all courtesy of your boy G. Bush and the great people at Bushline Beauty. All right, we got Darren Smith in the building. Shout out to Darren. He's doing, he's a stellar father. This man is not only on here talking to me, talking about the Browns, talking about everything in the NFL. He is also picking his children up from school. And I will say, I love the fact that this man, listen, he's raised his stellar children. You see how they got in the car and was just like, yeah, this is Pops. He be doing like his media stuff. We don't even be talking and stuff. We just get in and get out. It's nothing. This guy, man, you just do. All right, so let's get into a question and answer. We got about a few more minutes here. Question and answer. Well, me and Darren, you can ask anything you want to. It ain't gotta be about the Browns, Chiefs, whatever. You can ask your question. We can ask any question.
Yes, I am official me. This is like here. This is Super Bowl credentials. Working press.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it. I be about it. So yeah, when I cover the league, this is
show the receipts. People talk about who is that?
Yeah, it's a working press, not a really working press.
Hey, look, I'm not. Listen, I'm an opinion guy. Listen. When I go to the games, I still be in the muni line. I don't write no articles. That's for the big dogs up there, dog. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to some of your comments. People talk about we should be 8-1. We could be 3 and something too. We could be. That's the way the league worked too.
Should have lost that game to Pittsburgh, but I still can't get over that.
My man Ray Smith, fan base is going to be on Kool-Aid high for the rest of the winter when that happens. If the Browns win a home playoff game, I guarantee you guys will be moving around on the Kool-Aid. They will be. Let's see. Let's get this. In terms,
the cool thing, if that were to happen, it more than likely it would end up being a night game too. You know what I'm saying? Because if the TV executives, if they're smart, that would be probably on NBC on that Saturday night, and it was monster ratings.
Man, listen, look at my dogs. Earl, what's up? Earl done gave $1.99. Earl making money now. So you see me, my man's Earl making money now. Let me get this banner off here.
Earl said, "I ain't getting my tithes and offers. I get my quick trip, money."
It's like, yeah, we ain't going about to do that, man. Let me ask you a question. In terms of a better win, which win do you think it was better? Because I didn't think it was going to get no better because they did beat the 49ers with PJ Walker. What was your thoughts? So what's a better win, this win or the win against the 49ers? What's your thoughts on that?
This win won because it tore up my 25 leg parlay that I lost because of y'all. But
we on your pockets now.
yeah. Well, no. So I had the Browns winning, but the spread was more than what I had them winning by. So that's what hurt me. No, but this game because again for what it meant. The 49ers game was important as it relates to Stefanski to show that, the team could win without Deshaun Watson if needed be. But the win yesterday was more important overall because, Deshaun Watson's not going anywhere. And
right.
so he needed that type of signature win, to one, kind of ingratiate himself with the Cleveland, city if they had any doubts about him because, everybody's wondering, man, is he hurt? Is he, can he still play? Is he still that guy? I think yesterday proved that he is still that guy, given the circumstance and the opportunity. So I think yesterday was a bigger win overall for the franchise and for Deshaun Watson.
Mel L, thank you so much for donating and grabbing a membership for a month. We op hunting. Let's spin the block on the Steelers. I definitely feel that. We've been trying to get them up out of here. Do you think? What do you think is the? How many teams are going to make it for the playoffs with from the AFC North? How many you got?
I don't have the stuff in front of me, but I would say 3 at least. I think 3 because of how Houston is playing. I think you could get 2 from the AFC South. So I think you get 3 from the North, you get the Chiefs and the AFC West, and I think you might end up getting only 1 from the AFC East, and that could end up being Miami.
Man, and it's so funny how things happen. They talk about how dominant Miami was as far as the offensive rise. They lose A-Chain. They get blown out. A couple of weeks ago, they lose a game to the Kansas City Chiefs. What are your thoughts on the Dolphins and where they can hang in the pecking order? Or you think they just, when it get cold outside, it's fool's gold for them?
Well, the thing is for Miami, they're going to have most of their remaining games in Miami. So like they got all their cold weather games out. Most of the big games will end up being in Miami. So for them, the scheduling guys worked well for them. But as it relates to overall, this is literally a week-to-week league, man. I mean, there are teams that that at the end of the day, again, nobody saw Dallas losing to the Arizona Cardinals a few weeks back when they did. Nobody saw the Chiefs losing to the Broncos a couple of weeks ago. Nobody saw the Philadelphia Eagles losing to the New York Jets when they did. So week to week, you just never know what's going to happen, man. The way the ball bounces, whether or not somebody's sick, whether or not somebody gets hurt. And look, man, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. At times, I make the simplest of parlays. Like literally, I will have star players on teams. Literally, like Derrick Henry yesterday,
Yeah,
25 rushing yards. The man,
he's nothing.
he gets 24 yards. When you have players like that mess up a parlay, nothing surprises me anymore, man. I mean, I can't, and so like, look, I can't even count on Patrick Mahomes to throw for 200-300 yards anymore, man, because
people write y'all off and say what I had a dude tell me he's trying to get rid of Patrick Mahomes off his fantasy team.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He say they go too far. But no, here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes, you could count on, used to be able to count on Pat for 325 a game. Is it just because they playing them different? Or is it just
here's the thing. You can count on him to throw the ball. It's the receivers catching the football, outside of Kelsey. And so, I don't know, man. Now, I will say this. Even in Germany, it was a good win for a couple of reasons. One, Kelsey played the whole game, but he only had 3 catches, so he wasn't really a factor in that game, and the Chiefs still found a way to win. Now they only scored 14 points. That made me that made me rather nervous. And the defense, look, Kansas City has been where they are because of their defense this year, and not because of Mahomes and the offense. And so once Mahomes and the offense catch up with the defense, and this is the first time I've ever said that.
Well, that's why I shut up and sat here. I said, "What did that man just say? Catch up to the offense?"
Yeah, no. When the offense catch up with the defense, then Kansas City's gonna be hard to stop.
Kelsey in Argentina with Taylor Swift.
Well, he's on the way back, but yeah.
Hey, look. They saying that's why the number's down, fam. He say he living La Vida Loca out here.
Here's the thing: when she's at the games, his numbers go up.
Yeah, he be killing me.
So I expect her to be at the Monday night game next week. I expect her to be there, and look, I expect her to be there throughout the rest of the season. Because if it means home field advantage and another trip to the Super Bowl, shit, she better be there.
She better put her on. Listen, when I say, I'm like, dang man, these guys moving around. I said they didn't have Kelsey out here moving. I said this is nuts. They got all the commercials. Let's see.
But what Tyler said right there, that's why I say yesterday was a bigger win because of the injuries that you had, players going out left and right. You had the backup tackles, and you were still able to come back from behind being down 14, 15 points on a number of occasions to win the game. Yesterday was more important.
Man, when he muffed that punt, I was sick. Because he got off the pile and walked away so fast. I said, listen, you got to understand what you just did. Like I wanted to go off after that. Like there was a bunch of penalties, the missed extra point. I didn't really give Hopkins. I ain't gonna really in on him because I felt like we still might need to have him in the right mind when we go back downfield, and we're gonna need him to kick another field goal. So, but there was a bunch of stuff that happened like that was just ridiculous, and you just like, oh, this game is over. This game is a wrap, and they found a way to do it. And we'll ride out on kind of a I guess a serious note. I just feel like it seems like the Cleveland Browns is trying to understand who they are now. The Cleveland Browns is doing their thing. They're doing their thing until a certain extent where they're just saying, look, we're gonna run this football. It don't matter if we got certain things here. We're going to run this ball, and we're going to run it no matter who we got. And we've been always talking about us, like saying, hey, listen, Kev, I know you want to spread them out because you got Deshaun, but the core of what the Browns are is that running game and being bruisers up front. And I think they got back to that a little bit.
Oh, I agree. And look, and the biggest thing is, you're running the football and you're getting Kareem Hunt back involved. I told you, man, I told you in the offseason that you needed to get Kareem Hunt back on that squad, and thankfully you did. And so, obviously, you get those tough yards. He's the one to provide that muscle and that attitude. And then, of course, when it comes to getting the touchdowns in the end zone, that's the guy I would hand the ball off to. Look, I know what he can do, and the fact that here's the thing, man. I wish that Andy Reid would do what Kevin Stefanski did not want to do, which is run the football. And not say that you have to run it for 200 yards, but if your quarterback isn't playing well, you've got to give him a chance to actually, to play himself, and don't put your quarterback in a position where he can make mistakes or whatever, man. And that's what they did. Look, I mean, he obviously had the pick six, second play of the ball game, and then they start trailing. But once you start slowly running the football, and what was the third quarter? They took off 10 minutes off that clock, so you kept the Ravens on the sideline. That's how you use the running game. I mean, and look, and to be honest, that ain't hard coaching. That's just smart coaching.
Yeah, it is. It's just smart.
And the thing is, your offensive line, they like that because it allows them to impose their will on the defense. I mean, and like Jake said in the text yesterday, they were winded. They were ready to get off the field. And so the 10 minutes that you put running the football, displaying that attitude and grit, they come back out in the 3 and out. Now they right back out there. They don't want all that again. Nah.
They don't want no parts of that. Getting off blocks is one of the most difficult things. You don't understand how having 300-pound men on your body. I'm still recovering from that, Darren. 30 years later, I'm still recovering from all these dudes. I don't like big dudes touching me. Stop it. Don't even look at me. Darren, I want to thank you so much for coming on today, man. I appreciate you. Tell everybody where they can find your stuff, check you out, and follow you on Twitter and your social media.
Oh, yeah. Just hit me up on social media at Darren Smith NFL on Twitter. I think you can find me on Facebook at Darren Smith 816, which is a Kansas City area code. Then, of course, you can listen to my show on klkcradio.com on the weekends, Saturday mornings and Sunday nights, and then host of pregame, postgame shows via social media, home and away when the Chiefs play. So we'll do our pregame cheat sheet this Monday night coming up at 6:30, I believe. Yeah, 6:30 in Kansas City, and then that following Sunday after Thanksgiving, I'll be in Las Vegas when the Chiefs take on the Raiders. So I cover the Chiefs home and away. So I was in Germany.
Shout out to them freaking flyer miles. Get that stamp.
Hey! I got upgraded a silver medallion with Delta after the trip.
They step your passport game up, man. Darren, thank you so much.
I can fly, brother. First class, I can fly.
Man, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. And we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Darren Smith, thank him for joining me. And I want to thank you guys as well. Appreciate you guys. And we had a big time. It's been a great victory Monday, but we're gonna switch over and get ready for these Pittsburgh Steelers. We broke records on the barbershop. We had over 1,000 people listening to me just on my barbershop channel and for the post-game show. We're almost at 40,000, almost 50,000 for the post-game show, the biggest post-game show in Cleveland, and y'all been holding us down. So we got some really great things coming up on UCSS, and I'm just excited to show y'all. Top of the year gonna be great. But as always, we're going to keep giving you top-notch content, top-notch quality, and we're going to consistently keep doing that over here, over this way. I want to thank you guys as well. Enjoy the rest of your Victory Monday. And as we always say over here, you don't know where G. Bush going to be. I'm everywhere, man. I might be on the radio, television. You know what it is. You see me on all different platforms. But you always got to remember, you can definitely find me if you just listen to the Clippers.